This is the Ministry of Silly Talk.
Silly Talk. Ministry of Silly Talk.
This is the Ministry.
This is the Ministry of
Silly Talk. This is the Ministry of
Silly Talk.
Thank you for listening to my Daddy's Stupid Podcast. And remember, his head is full of doo-doo, so don't listen to anything he says.
That's very funny.
We're back.
We are
Sorry, I was trying to hit it with
you
the...
got it. You got me.
And I'll take the memory to be after the rain. No, it's good. Yeah. So welcome back to the Ministry of Silly Talk podcast. I'm sure you all just turned this off, but we're back. And I did want to mention before we get any further, we do need to do a health watch. Health watch.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Just to start with the health watch segment to begin the podcast this week, I have a sinus situation going on, which I'm sure everyone is super excited to hear about, but I have lost a little bit of hearing in my right ear. So if the audio is not up to par this week, it's different than other weeks where it's not, because I can't even hear it.
Yeah, so we have a built-in excuse for...
Yeah, if it sounds
great. It's probably going to sound great.
Yeah, no, probably if I leave it alone, the less I mess with things, generally...
People will be able to hear what we say.
Yeah, it'll probably be better than that. But for right now, I
haven't gotten any feedback that was like, dude, I was listening to the podcast, and
the sound was unbearable.
What y'all were saying, hilarious. Probably should have got 100,000 views, but that sound, couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, we're all just sitting around here right now.
I'm waiting for the bus.
Like that. But, so, yeah, I just wanted to make sure I preface that. I'm not making excuses, but I am definitely making excuses. How's your week been, sir?
So far, it's been kind of chill.
Yeah.
It's kind of laid back. It's only a Tuesday. Oh, going to give a shout-out to Bailey Brandon's 21st birthday today.
There you go. Happy
We're
birthday.
Recording on her birthday. She listens to the podcast, so happy birthday, buddy. I hope you enjoyed your day.
Absolutely. Happy birthday all around. My daughter's birthday was a couple days ago.
Yeah,
so.
And Bailey's little sister, who's also too young to mention on the pod out loud, birthday is tomorrow. So happy birthday to her.
Interesting. All of our kids' birthdays in a little sequence there. So pretty dope. And I hope if you're out there celebrating a birthday or whatever, hope you enjoyed yourself. If you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan listening to this,
wah, wah. Hey, sometimes the devil gets his due, right? What are you gonna do?
Absolutely. I will say one of the things I did after this week's Super Bowl was, as soon as the game was over, I started watching on YouTube the live local news in Philadelphia.
Were they going crazy, bro?
It was as glorious as you could imagine. They did a thing this year where they were taking down light poles, the walk, don't walk light poles in the city. They were
the crossing guard things.
They were taking down the light poles.
Nice. And
passing them around the crowd. And I was actually pretty impressed with the ingenuity, because how do you eat? That has to have insanely
force.
It has to have insanely high voltage going to it. I'm sure you could pop those covers off and remove the bolts where it's bolted to
There's
the
not
ground.
A blue collar guy in that crowd that knows this.
It's probably
the guy that installed the shit started it.
Probably. Yeah, it was
He's
probably
like, hey, yo, we can go down here on something street and take the freaking lamps out.
Yeah, it'll be real easy to do.
I got my tools right here.
They did have, I noticed, city utility trucks were out moving around, covered in people moving around, but the fans in Philadelphia went completely bonkers.
Well, Philly's had a decent run, like in the last, decade? They've won, at least one World Series, right? They won a couple Super Bowls. I don't know about hockey.
No, I don't ever know what's going on with hockey.
76ers have a couple of decent players that people have heard of.
Yeah,
they're in the lexicon more so than they had been in the past, at least.
Absolutely. Well, in the Eagles, there was a whole thing with them for a long time where they had been in the McNabb era, and they couldn't just get it done. And now they got one, and now they're continuing to get them. And they got one and they beat
the perennial powerhouse, as it were.
And they're with the coach.
Their old coach, Reed.
Yeah,
big
Reed.
boy.
Yeah, the big fat guy.
Big Andy. No, that's the first thing my wife noticed about him. She goes, because she just assumes that all the coaches and anybody who's involved in the NFL was once a high-level football player
Athlete of
themselves.
some kind, right.
Yeah. So she sees Andy Reid, and she's like, that's the coach of the best team. Why is he? And I'm like, babe, he don't have time to exercise. He's X's and O's.
He's got coaching to do.
And he was probably a great lineman at one point in his life.
Yeah, he's always been a big fat guy. But yeah, shout out to the city of Philadelphia
that's
for
awesome.
Really mashing things up. They do though, and it's not.
I enjoyed watching that game. I enjoyed watching Kansas City get thoroughly beat.
Yes.
I liked watching Jalen Hurts, and I thought Saquon Barkley got kind of a raw deal last year, and the fact that he came against a division rival of his old team, best season of any individual running back ever, and the Super Bowl.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Absolutely.
What do you think of the commercials?
They were good.
Yeah, I thought
they were fine.
I think it's weird because I never watch commercials anymore.
We don't want for entertainment like we used to when Super Bowl commercials were because it really was the one time a year where you saw weird, goofy stuff on TV. But now, I mean, most of my algorithm on my phone is absurd memes and weirdly cut together.
Well, and it's our attention span is nothing anymore.
Nonsensical stuff.
I thought the halftime show. See, I'm not a fan of Kendrick Lamar, but he's just not. I'm just not a huge fan because I haven't listened to him that much.
Yeah.
So it was one of those deals where I definitely recognized the talent, and I thought the show was cool.
Yeah.
But as far as it just wasn't music that I was already affiliated with or whatever you want to say, aware of, kind of.
I will say this about that Super Bowl halftime show. I thought it was good. I think it's hilarious that he called the biggest pop star in the world a pedophile in front of all those people. I thought that was pretty funny.
That's the one song that I did.
Hilarious. Yeah.
That's the only song that he played that I recognized.
Oh, see, well, I know a bunch of other Kendrick stuff too, and I like Kendrick Lamar.
And I know about him, and I think that, as he's very talented, I'm not taking him. To me and selfish, I enjoyed it when it was Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and Eminem.
That was the best Super Bowl halftime of all time. But I will say this about the Super Bowl halftime show. Actually, nobody cares, and it's very rare that one, it causes a stir and then everyone forgets it forever. You know what I mean? We got, who do you remember? Michael Jackson, when we were kids, was bonkers. Prince, In the Rain.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Get all the way out.
Get out of here. But other than that, and then to me,
I remember Aerosmith for some reason a couple different times.
It was bad. They did that one that one year. That's the other one I was gonna say. I remember where it was Aerosmith.
It was like Mariah Carey,
Britney Spears, Nelly. It was this is
It was in a really bad year for music. And the top music was Nelly doing a country song.
Yeah, it was
rough.
That is definitely one of the worst and I remember that one distinctly for it being so insanely bad.
What me and Candace noticed about it was even though it wasn't necessarily stuff that we were familiar with or big fans of, it was, I thought, done really I was entertained by it, even though not being a fan of the music necessarily.
Yeah.
You know,
the presentation was
cool. He looked cool doing his thing, and being had not heard it, I didn't necessarily understand all the things he was saying. Yeah, my first time listening to the stuff. But then when he's doing the Drake diss or whatever, that was hilarious to me.
No, it's crazy that and as fans of hip hop, that's wild.
What created because
don't ask me.
Yeah,
don't,
I mean, like,
don't ask me about
what was
that.
the original diss or whatever?
Oh, I don't know. They were firing shots at each other
they
for a
just
while.
dislike each other, I guess.
But I had always suspected that Drake was a bit of a pedo because he.
Oh
like,
yeah, no,
he had a weird relationship with the little girl from Stranger Things. Like there was some red carpet interview with him from when she was like 15. Where he
that
was
Bobby
like,
Brown little girl.
Yeah, where he was like, "Oh, we're texting each other," and she'll be like, "I really miss you," and he's like, "I really miss you," and I was like, "You know, you're saying this in public, right?"
He's like our age almost, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, he's not as young as people assume, I don't think.
No, and put the microphone in front of you. There you go. You can even just drag the microphone with you if you need to.
Yeah, but still, Drake is closer to our age than he is to most of these people.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
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 That ain't got nothing to do with it.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't
Not
have
in that
anything to do with
situation.
that.
No. But yeah, other than that, I thought the Super Bowl was cool. Because I'm not a NFL guy as much as I used to be, so I don't sit down and watch the whole game. I watched the entire game.
Yeah,
and it was, even though they were drilling them at the end,
it was a satisfying watch.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, unless your team, which I don't think I've ever experienced other than being little in the Bulls, unless your team is the perennial powerhouse dynasty team,
you want that team to lose.
Yeah, if you're watching, you would like to see something. You want parity. You want to see different teams.
Well, what used to always bother me is to see people like, I've always lived in the South, and as an adult in Georgia, you know how many Patriots fans exploded onto the scene? Oh, you were a New England's Patriot fan in 1987? I don't think so.
Yeah, remember when the Saints were briefly good?
Or the Miami Heat.
The Heat was a big one.
All these teams. Or even the Nowitzki era in Dallas. There's a lot of people that would. It's like, what?
That was always something funny that I used to always say was like when the Patriots would lose, I'd always be like, tough season for Yankees fans.
Yeah. Well, what would always bother me is like people that would choose to be homers on. They're a big Georgia fan, big Braves fan, but I don't like the Hawks because they suck, and I don't like the Falcons because they suck.
Yeah.
So I like the Patriots and I like the Celtics. Like, no, dude.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you just
you
are
just
tired of losing,
that.
and it's fine. But
I do understand as I've gotten older. I just don't understand the. I don't understand whatever it is in your head that goes, oh, I'm just gonna pretend to be a fan of this team that I've never watched before or rooted for
because I know it's gonna go well for me because they win.
Yeah, and you use it as some sort of substitute for having a personality where you're like, oh
you'll
yeah, no,
buy
I'm
all
a huge
the stuff.
Yeah,
to me, having the stuff and not being from the place, a hat is a thing. Having the whole outfit.
Well, and how many Patriots fans that we knew are now probably have
still proper Patriots fans?
Yeah.
None.
None. The interesting side effect of that, though, that I just thought about is all of the people I know who've never even been to Texas who are Cowboys fans because like their parents were bandwagoners or the Cowboys were good when they're little.
They were big in 93 when they were 12. Yeah.
But now they're like stuck with, the Browns essentially. Like and even the Cowboys when they've like have been good have failed miserably at every turn. I find that to be fun because
they haven't won a Super Bowl since what, 92 or 3?
Yeah, it's been a long time. They haven't, they haven't won one in the, since we've had pubes. They have not won.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Super Bowl.
Well, maybe.
But they do have a rabid fan base of what I refer to as like extra stupid bandwagoners that you run into everywhere.
Yeah, no.
Those were iconic
Steelers
teams,
to me have that, but they actually win, so it's okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in there's a lot of that with the Green Bay fans as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mostly only exclusively meet Green Bay fans who are from like Louisiana or whatever.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, because, working in the bar industry, especially in Atlanta, different parts in the suburbs, some of these bars would affiliate themselves with a certain group because that group would bring the most people to drink on Sunday.
Of course, yeah.
So they would call themselves a Steeler bar or a Green Bay bar or whatever. And you'd meet these people, and like none of them were from Philly, or from Pittsburgh. None of them were from Green Bay. Or
there's
Wisconsin.
only so many people from Green Bay, Wisconsin, anyway. But there's a divide there because you have like a regional team or whatever.
No, of course. I mean, I get that, but still, they're just national type teams,
right? Yeah, they become sort of these larger market teams.
Like I feel like the Braves are kind of like that baseball. I feel like the Cubs can be that way baseball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yankees are that way.
Yeah, there are. Although a lot of Yankees fans though became because they won 3 straight World Series or 2 straight World Series. Which is like,
but I'm saying they became. Those are
actually, and when the Yankees won back-to-back World Series championships, you know who the only other team to have done that was? The Chicago Cubs.
Oh,
they won in 07 and 08.
Sweet.
19.
No, I know. I'm duly impressed. Yeah. I could have hit.
That. Oh, yeah. No, you know what?
That's actually not that much of a stretch.
I disagree with a lot of your sports acumen. We could have started for one of those teams.
I could have hit in 1907.
But I mean, if we went back having been vaccinated against polio and having eaten a vegetable before and hey, we should drink some water. We're thirsty. We would crush.
Have you ever seen? There's a famous comedian that has a bit where they talk about if you went back to the Roman times and you had your iPhone, could you take over the world? He goes, no, they would just beat me up.
Fair.
He's like, I'd be telling them about this thing. I have no idea how they do it or
how
what happens.
Works. Yeah. They just take it from you. Fair.
We consider ourselves tough, but compared to some dudes playing Major League Baseball in 1906, they would run us out of the locker room.
Yeah, no, as soon as you did anything good, they would get rid of you immediately.
Cut your throat.
Yeah. No, well, it's always the argument.
I saw you talking to the guy who let you in the door there.
It's always the argument with Babe Ruth. People get real up their butt about the nostalgia, being how good Babe Ruth was. And he was phenomenal in the time he played, but A, baseball was segregated, and B, hella professional baseball players were coal miners and plumbers.
No,
you know what
sure.
I mean? And they're like, if Babe Ruth played today, he would have the same nutrition and workout regimen. I'm like, no, he wouldn't, because he was a fat alcoholic. He would just be a fat alcoholic who
he would have never made it.
Didn't get out of high school.
No,
you know what I mean? There's no you can't.
I mean, at this point, Babe Ruth was a good slow pitch softball player.
Yeah, you play against whoever you play against, and I'm not saying Babe Ruth wasn't one of the greatest.
No, he was
the
greatest of that era or whatever.
Yeah,
that's
but
fine.
I don't give. I don't want to hear him compared to anybody.
No.
It's a testament to how crazy good he was against that opposition that it took that long for Hank Aaron to break his career home run record. But people were breaking his single season records of stuff constantly, as soon as baseball became as profitable as it's become, and it became integrated, and it was an issue of teams really in that time baseball was so much in its infancy that you just had to get guys on your team.
It's everything's relative. You could look at it and be like, best baseball player who was playing baseball. Usain Bolt at one time was the fastest human on earth.
Yeah.
There was a dude that's probably faster than him that just wasn't running track. He was in a mine somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Know.
You never met him or whatever. Or he was driving a truck across the whatever he's doing, because he didn't run track. He just
right.
Out.
You will never know. But I can say pretty confidently that Shohei Ohtani is better than Babe Ruth, because Babe Ruth was another guy who pitched and hit, but it's even Babe Ruth's best both ways season pales in comparison to the two
to
best.
Me, it's just not a fair comparison.
No, because if Shohei Ohtani doesn't exist, that's not even a real thing. You know what I mean?
Compared
he's
to he's not a comparable person.
Yeah, I'm saying he's such an insanely astronomical outlier that when people call him a gimmick or get mad or they're like, well, Babe Ruth was better, I'm like, he wasn't, and what's happening here is unprecedented.
I cannot understand why or even take someone seriously who's comparing someone they never saw swing a bat to someone who's doing it better than anyone else on the planet right now.
We're even getting into the point, too, where these, like, weird boomers who are complaining about this and talking about Babe Ruth, like, your great-grandparents watched Babe Ruth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never saw...
Yeah, your dad didn't see Babe Ruth.
Even your dad never saw that happen.
When you start talking about basketball, my dad watched Dr. J.
Yeah.
So me and him can have that conversation.
Of course.
You know what I mean? He saw Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play.
Yeah.
You know, but... I watched Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson play, so I can tell my kids about that, you know. To talk about people before, they're like, wait a second.
Yeah, you know? I didn't see Hank Aaron play either, you know what I mean? But
there's video.
But there's like, you could watch full games. You watch like season, it was recorded.
Well, and the people he played against, you have 10 years worth of full stats.
Yeah, and all of them. Yeah, Babe Ruth might as well have been a movie. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know. Why in the world is...
Oh, hold on. Before we start talking about sports.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you gotta do the intro.
It's time for sports in your shorts.
My opinion is going to be is something like that. But
yeah.
No, like to me, why even bring up Babe Ruth? Like, what is that? Why?
I'll let you guess. I'll give you 3 guesses, and only one of them counts. That it's a Japanese dude throwing from both sides, from throwing and hitting, and so there's.
Is he the only white guy that you can bring up?
Yeah, I would. Well, because he was
because that's obviously what you're saying. And
yeah, well, and specifically though, he's the only other pitcher in baseball history that was like a 2-way player
in the major leagues.
In the major leagues, right? But again.
In 1920 something, correct?
Yeah. Oh well, and when
he
was pitching and hitting and it was effective was like 16, 17, I think.
On,
what are we
talking about?
Why does that guy get to enter the conversation? And Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player who ever lived. If you want to talk about like Babe Ruth versus anybody else, and I don't want to disrespect.
Well, and
Hank
Barry
Aaron,
Bonds was playing against guys. He was on steroids, but so were the pitchers.
Everybody else
was on steroids. So let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And what Barry Bonds did is, if you're into baseball statistics, and nobody's listening anymore, but if you are, Barry Bonds' baseball reference page is absurd, dude. The year he hit 74 home runs, he led the league in walks.
Yeah, dude, they wouldn't throw to him.
Like, and he still hit 74 home runs. Like, his actual, like, recorded at-bats are insanely low. It's less than 400.
See, I just think, personally, they should just let them all do whatever the hell they want to drug-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Go to town, but make it known.
Yeah.
You might die at 23, but you might be in the hall. You know what I mean? Yeah. Do your worst.
I think it's unlikely that they would just...
I want to see Ronnie Coleman running the rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that's what I want to see,
definitely. Dude. Yeah, no.
Or at least have a version of the XFL. If you want me to watch the XFL, have Ronnie Coleman versus Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Out of their mind on roids, destroying. Like,
no,
let's go.
I agree. No, and that's the thing, too, though, with the steroid era in baseball. It's such a silly argument where it's like, oh, he cheated, and it's like, but the competition was at the point where
everyone had got to the pinnacle of human nature, so they had to add, or thought they did.
And it's the same thing when people, because I was one in the early 2000s where I was like, oh well, Kobe's just like a carbon copy of Mike, right? Like, but how many it's not like everyone else in the NBA was going, oh, I didn't even think about trying to play like Michael Jordan. Like, it's like, oh, why didn't I think of
the
modeling
fact that somebody could figure it out and do it
and then
that well.
do it that well.
Caviar leak. Incoming. Incoming caviar leak. LA Caviar Mixtape. Out now.
Yes?
Go to it not having it on YouTube.
From the
today.
Inside, sir. What do you mean?
We did have an employee training from last week with McDonald's and Michael Jordan. We might not even need to dig back into that yet. I think it's okay to leave those.
Yeah, we can space those out a little bit.
Everything's not going to be McSweeney.
No.
McSweeney was the ultimate gift of training of any kind.
Yeah, and it's like maybe even a little.
It was much.
Yeah.
It was probably, we were probably pretty heavy
Poured it
on
thick
the
on with the
McSweeney.
McSween, yeah.
Yeah. So, today we'll talk about the
fucking internet.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, you're hearing it again.
Internet. Fucking internet. Fucking internet. Fucking internet.
Is that part of their intro music as well? Or is it just happened to?
How do you mean?
Like the intro music from the show that the soundbite is from?
No. So, that was an intentional. Listen, I'm about to.
Okay. Come on. Yeah, come on, baby.
I'm about to pat myself on the back here. I intentionally found a bass sound that
very similar.
sounded very similar to that, and even distorted it a little bit, so it kind of had that vibe to
Born
it.
Under a Bad Sign.
Yeah. So
nice.
It sounded a bit Sopranos-y. Hey,
there you go.
I'm glad you caught that.
I caught it.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if we were sampling or we were just.
No.
noodling,
That
you
was
got it.
I
That's
just
nice.
made it. I made that all
awesome.
entirely by myself.
You pray for me. You guys are a rip-off.
I did rip that off. That really works.
That's so awesome, though. Just
Yeah.
to be a business owner, that's the last thing you ever want to hear. But that guy in the red did not.
No.
Yeah, you need God, bro. He goes,
Have fun with my $150.
Oh, speaking of having fun with your money, don't forget patreon.com/1gramarmy is going live. It's always existed, but there is actually content there now. I'm doing old episodes of my previous 2 failed podcasts that are unhinged and ridiculous.
Not failed, just
learning
older versions.
the
There you
learning
go,
curve,
yes.
right? And there's a lot of good stuff in there. There's a lot of previous inside jokes from all of that have bled into this. I think you'll enjoy those, but also we're doing new content. Porch Pirates is the new podcast.
Kind of our warm-up round before we come into the studio.
As soon as we started podcasting, the first thing we noticed was lots of great stuff happens.
Yeah, it gets spilled out there, as it were.
Gets spilled out there on the porch, and there was no way to capture it. And a lot of the stuff on the porch, not YouTube friendly. So
so it's better for the algo if we kind of tighten up in here with the headphones on, but out there we say whatever we want.
Yeah, and goof off. And also I've, as a masterful audio technician, as you heard from the internet segment intro, this has like a completely different sort of ambiance. The way the sound sounds.
Yeah,
is
it's like
completely
almost a
different.
VR type thing. Like you're there.
It is.
It's like you're on the porch.
It is recorded in such a way where you're out there with us. So hopefully go check that out. Patreon.com/1gramarmy. Support the pod and now you actually will get something.
Yeah,
There's content.
If you think we're interesting on the pod, you have to see us before the pod.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you can do a facial now without a mask.
I don't know why
very funny.
I don't know why that felt necessary, but I love that clip from him so much. Oh, somewhere I wish I had it saved. So if you listen to the intro to the podcast where Dr. Drew goes, that's very funny. That's actually him responding to me in a live Instagram feed.
Awesome. That's so awesome to me. Like,
Because he was like, because he really went like far right during COVID, and he was like complaining about stuff and about the government or whatever. He said something about like bureaucracy. And I was like, I mentioned like, oh, hey, if you have a problem with bureaucracy, fill this form out in triplicate and go back to window D. And he was like, if you have a problem with democracy, that's very funny. And that was him, but that really was Dr. Drew.
And I think he actually said 1 gram army.
Yeah, he does say 1 gram army. Yeah, here, hold on. Yeah, this is.
If you have a complaint, submit the form in triplicate. That's very funny.
That's awesome, dude.
Army.
I've listened to Dr. Drew since middle school.
Of course.
1 gram army.
Yeah, it's like, this is a good question from 1 gram army. Yeah, it was pretty good.
That's very funny.
Have fun with my 160.
Yeah, have fun with my $160. What were we doing here? We were gonna do something.
The internet.
Internet. Oh yeah, the internet. Oh yeah.
Internet.
Internet. Internet. Yeah. That one is what I'm very proud of. Oh, dang. Sorry, I'm missing something really important in my list of favorite soundboard drops. What happened here? Sorry, this may. Oh,
Diabetes.
I couldn't find it.
Diabetes.
I couldn't find it.
Diabetes. That'd be cold-blooded if you could just like pass it to people.
Diabetes. So, you got diabetes.
I gotta stop leaning on that, but it is one of my favorite of the most ridiculous. That was a bad drop.
No, it's fine.
No, I could have done better than that.
But that would be weird if you could just pass shit along to people like that, like tag.
Well, there is colds, viruses, STDs. If you really want to give somebody some, you can give somebody some of that.
Yeah, but those things are not as fun as diabetes.
No, well, there's not. Yeah, there's not a sound bite for them.
The French.
Very much true. Yeah.
All right, we gotta buckle down here.
All right, what we got going on this internet?
All right, what were we looking at? Oh, internet. Here we go. What's going on today? Okay, I have to start this by. I'm going to start right here.
Okay.
Because Tony's family and what he is doing over there on his YouTube channel, which I believe is now LA Caviar. The man gets manic and makes all kinds of crazy good stuff and like puts it in places where I'm like, centralize it, man. I gotta be.
He puts it all over the place.
He'll have like multiple YouTube channels. But so now LA Caviar at Not Having It is now the central point for all things caviar. Tony, I guess he's gonna start.
LA Caviar at Not Having It.
Yeah. Well, no, sorry. On YouTube, you can Google LA Caviar, but also on YouTube, you can just go to at Not Having It because YouTube has @s for the YouTube channels now. So you can check that out. But I did want to play this because this really cracked me up. So he's doing this. You'll have to check it out on your own. But he's doing this like satirical rap music stuff that I think it's really going well and it's very funny. But he also he's doing these like. Remember the mixtape era where they would yell over the music and all that, and it was like
ad libs, as it were.
Yeah, and it would be all these tags like thatpiff.com. Where'd you get that, son? All that stuff. So he's did his own for his own music is so good.
Here comes another banger. By any means this banger may make you swerve your shit until. Oh Lord, gotta have an ass. This mixtape is sponsored by thatcaviar.com.
Oh, where'd you get this mixtape?
I just told you, bitch. thatcaviar.com.
I probably get killed by my ex with a gun, cause she be getting mad and I don't really give a fuck, son.
That part.
So it's just all ad libs?
Yeah, well no, I'm saying he's doing all this other music, but he's doing the like mixtape ad libs ahead of time, like on the tracks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because remember, like DJ Drum and all that, every song you heard was like that. But
thatcaviar.com.
This was my shit.
Oh, where'd you get this mixtape?
I just told you, bitch. thatcaviar.com.
I probably get killed by my ex with a gun, cause she be getting mad and I don't really give a fuck, son.
I don't know exactly what he's up to, but that shit cracks me up.
I don't know exactly what he's up to. That's great.
I just told you, bitch. Oh, so anyway, back to the internet.
The internet.
Okay. Oh, we need it again?
No. We don't. We got to get to it eventually.
At some point.
At some point, we got to find the.
Can't just keep introing it. But that's also a good point, though. You see, Tony's doing the mixtape intros where it never gets to the point.
I love that because that is so how that era was.
It was
so
my God. Bad. It was so annoying.
And it's like it got down to the point where even the dude that actually made it before it got to the gas station was putting his own tag on it.
Yes, you know what I mean? It would be piled.
Slim
up.
Charles.
Yeah,
like,
it would just
what?
be piled up with there was so many tags. It was impossible to keep track of. All right, so this video, I do have to. There's a bit of a preamble to it because when I first saw it, I didn't understand what was going on. But so this girl is already on the phone with her mom.
Okay.
Right. And what she's telling her is that, hey, I was speeding and I got pulled over.
Okay.
And I told the police I was speeding because I was coming to your house because you fell. Right.
Okay.
And that's what she's telling her mom. But it seems it.
Is the cop going to check on her mom?
There's no actual police. That's what I'm saying. Is like she says she's on the phone with her mom.
She's just messing with her mom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And she goes, I just got pulled over and I told the police you fell and now they're following me home.
Okay.
Okay, I just got pulled over down the street and I told the cop that I was speeding because you just told me that you fell. And I told him that you have a bad hip and stuff. But he's following me back to the house, Mom.
Okay.
So I need you to like lay down on the floor, please, and act like you fell.
No. Why the fuck would you do that,
Mom?
Keisha?
I don't know, but I didn't think. Mom, are you okay? Mom, where are you?
Oh no. She totally did not want to do that, dude. That is hilarious.
That's really bogus of her daughter to do that too, though, because she held her down.
Her mom totally did it. Looking ridiculous. Like she had a pack of food down there and everything.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. She put stuff around her like she fell off the counter.
Like, that's great, man.
No, she was bogus, but that's a good prank.
That's one that's harmless.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because like some of those I see them like popping out on old people. I'm like, dude, they could give this man a heart attack. Like, you could have hurt your grandma. Dude.
No, but them coming in, this is so good. She immediately knows
saw the phone.
What happened.
I want to try this on my dad, dude. I wonder if I can get my dad with that. I don't know. For some reason, I always see these pranks. I want to try them on my dad. And I wouldn't dare on my mom, but I.
Yeah, because I'm really genuinely normally not a fan of those kind of pranks, but she really.
See, stuff like that is funny to me as long as it's harmless.
Yeah, of course. And then no one else was involved.
Well, and it's like
they didn't really call the police.
Some of that stuff you see like on Jackass or whatever, like I could not be in that friend group. And we've been friends for a long time since we were young. Mm-hmm. And we never were coming up with clippers behind each other's hair or something. Like, are you kidding me?
No.
Never be friends again. We're fighting right there. Like, there's no way.
That is, and I'm sure you remember this.
We've dumped beer on each other in a public place, but still never with the clippers.
It was, well, the dumping beer thing was sort of a devolution of a situation that had been, like, it was just, it was clearly the time for that to happen.
Yeah, but no one was being angry. We were laughing.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is there was no clippers.
No. Like clipping someone's hair.
Or smash them in the face with a huge thing that could actually hurt them.
No, and I've never, and I don't, I have friends with all manner of people, but at no point have I ever been friends with.
No, me neither.
The level of white dudes where they like draw on each other's faces and stuff, that was never acceptable.
I knew people that did that to other people in high school. I was never on the list.
No, don't. Yeah, you would be, it would be ill-advised.
It'd be bad. I'd be upset.
Yeah, and none of the people, and if I came to your party, none of the people I brought with you would give you the inclination that it would be okay to draw on our faces.
No.
But yeah, there's a level of. And Jackass did sort of like open up a
vein, if you will, for that type
people
of shit.
feeling like it was okay to like do crazy
Weird
shit
stuff
like
to
that.
each other, slap each other in the back of the head or something gross.
Yeah,
like,
I don't.
I've never just had that friend group that was doing ridiculous stuff to each other like that.
Yeah, I've never been around a group of people who I would consider my friends where there was one guy where I was like, you're old enough to remember the early days of Jackass, I'm sure. Do you remember like CKY2K, that was on a VHS tape?
I remember hearing about it. I didn't watch it, but I know what it is, like a skating video of them doing stupid stuff as well.
Right. And it was sort of the precursor to Jackass. But there was a scene in that where, like, I don't know, the dude like poops in the toilet and like puts poop on a guy's face, and then the other guy like pees on him while he's asleep. And I was like, and a lot of the, I hung out with all kinds of different people, especially, people who were into stuff. And like some of the, like the white skateboarder kids, like we would watch that or with them, or it would come up. And I was like, that's not funny. Like that's like that's poop.
Yeah. What would they say? What would the reaction be?
They just thought it was hysterical. I mean, you're young kids.
Oh,
so
they weren't doing that type of crap.
No. But it would become a concern. You know what I mean? You're hanging out with these kids that
at some point they thought it was funny enough to try that.
Poop or pee comes into play. Like,
then I'm catching a charge.
Yeah, could be.
It's a tough look.
It's a life changer. You know what I'm saying?
For everyone.
For everybody involved. That's a news story.
Yeah. This day will live in infamy.
All right. But you know what? We're doing pranks. We'll do one more prank video.
Now, I do like to see somebody get pranked on the golf course. I'm not going to lie.
I was just going to say, there are few people who deserve to get pranked as much as people on a golf course. This one is amazing.
Oh, great.
Okay. This one is amazing.
I think it's by the way that guy's standing. I love him.
It just imposes liability on homeowners on him. Okay. Who neglect to care for the property. Okay. Including people who have...
I do want to note, too, that they're having some kind of dumbass boomer political conversation, too, when this starts, and it is...
It just imposes liability
the juxtaposition of what's about to happen.
Oh, they're just buddies talking?
Including people who have a dead tree and let it fall on a neighbor's car.
The guy talking specifically is the dude who won't shut up about shit like that. Sorry, I don't mean to keep restarting it.
No, you're good.
You notice next to his foot,
I see.
There's a rubber snake attached to a piece of fishing line that is now attached to his sneaker.
Oh, no. Look at it. He's still going there.
Get the fuck out of here. It's fake! It's fake! I don't like snakes.
We gotta see it
I just enjoy whatever it is he's talking about. He's like, hey, I'm the dude out here, and listen to what I'm talking about. And he's like, all right, so we got to stop laughing for a second so you can really hear the audio of him smash into that golf cart and his reaction. He's the one talking, by the way. It's interesting. His voice completely changes after when he's talking about whatever he's talking about.
He was the one talking about the HOA or whatever?
Yeah.
On him, okay. Neglect to care for the property. Okay. Including people who have a dead tree and let it fall on a neighbor's car. Okay.
Oh my God!
Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! It's fake! It's fake!
Dude, like you were saying.
I don't like snakes.
The way he was saying, "Get the fuck out of here," I was dying. Could you come back just a little, please?
Oh yeah. No. We're on.
Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out!
This satisfaction with whatever he said. I'm wondering too if one of these people is a guy who had a dead tree that fell in his
got
yard.
hit and he's talking shit.
Yeah, or what he's talking about. He was like, "Oh, dude, we let a dead tree fall in your yard." Whatever. I feel like these people
he deserves this. Yeah.
Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the
He sounds like Stevie. He sounds like Stevie from Eastbound and Down. Listen. Yeah, wait.
Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out!
He got so scared and gave him a speech impediment, bro.
Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out!
Oh, that's so great.
Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! It's fake! It's fake! It's fake! Get the fuck! Get the fuck! Get the fuck out! It's fake!
Oh,
Jesus.
That guy came unglued. So good. That's so good.
My God. See, now that's what I might could do to my dad, really. Trying.
Yeah, that one. No, the value of that is
He went full retard, dude. I'm sorry.
No.
Like, the Academy's never going to fall for this, but he went, oh, get the fuck out of here. Oh, boy.
Well, that's about what I had. I think
his name's Carrie, which is even funnier to me.
Yeah. All right, hold on. One more.
Yeah, let's look up from the absolute beginning. I want to hear what they're talking about and everything, because he's really being a dick at the beginning.
No, of course that's what I'm saying, because he makes some kind of comment at the beginning about because these are his
talking
boys.
to the guy who's about to drive.
Yeah, and he says something like, "Well, they'd never let a dead tree fall in your yard," like as if that happened to him or it happened to the other guy, and he's like bragging about how that wouldn't happen where he lived. He even looks at the camera and gives it like,
no, that's perfect.
It's just imposes liability on homeowners who neglect to.
How did they get him with it though?
They tied it to him when they were driving in the thing. It's been on him the whole time.
Oh yeah.
They brought it to his attention. See when they tell him.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! It's fake! It's fake! It's fake! It's fake!
I'll watch him do again.
Get the fuck out!
Okay. Including people who have a dead tree and let it fall on
Yeah, it's been there the whole time, you know.
Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! It's fake! It's fake! It's fake! It's fake!
Oh, that room for fixins. That he sounds like the dude from Eastbound and Down when he goes down.
Stevie Janowski.
Get the fuck out! It's fake! It's fake! It's fake! It's fake! I'm sorry.
I don't like snakes.
To be fair, too, that gentleman at that age in that situation and as tanked as he probably is, they could have given him a heart attack.
Yeah, that may have not been the. I mean,
this puts me in mind of the sort of jackass situations, but also
those guys are 26. It's fine, or were 26. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, and they're not all here anymore either, so they certainly shouldn't be doing this to each other.
Nah.
But also,
they would have done it with a real snake.
Well, this guy. Wait, here we go. This is when he earns it.
Tree and let it fall on the neighbor's car.
That's right, where he earns it.
And they didn't even know he was going to say that.
Nope.
He's got a golf club in his hand. He can hit it.
Yeah, it feels like he could have. And then in his head, it's like chasing him.
And it's like bouncing and everything.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck.
Snakes. I don't like snakes.
I don't like snakes.
All right, I think we've done it. I think we've actually recorded a podcast. I don't know. I don't know exactly what we've done, but fuck it, we did one.
We came here and we podcasted.
That's right. So thank you for joining us. Don't forget, patreon.com/1GramArmy.
Hey, hit up the hotline, 847-665-9238.
You got that right. Oh, shit. At some point, I was laughing so hard I moved your microphone, your camera.
Hey,
so who knows how that was looking. But either way, we're here. We're doing a podcast. Get used to it. Stay out of the water.
Week. Don't get blarneyed.
Bye.
Soju, feeling real grand. Ooh, yeah. Mics in their hands, they got no plan. Sports talk flying, but they can't keep it right. Jackass reruns playing on a Friday night. Soju stumble rumble, they think they're pros. Talking about sports and wild TV shows. Ooh, yeah. Snakes and pranks, they got fun in the mix. Tune in, y'all, for their messy tricks. One says LeBron, the other says Shaq. Ooh, ooh, wee. Debates go nowhere, they just talking smack. Jackass stunts got them laughing on the floor. Woo. Look out for that snake behind the door. Soju stumble rumble, they think they're pros. Talking about sports and wild TV shows. Snakes and pranks, they got fun in the mix. Tune in, y'all, for their messy tricks. Oh, baby! Mike's falling over, they can't keep still. Too much soju, it's a comedy drill. Snakes in their pants, yelling on the stream. Woohoo! Podcast madness feels like a dream. Come on! They're predicting games, they got it all wrong. Oh, yeah. From touchdowns to home runs, the night's so long. Jackass impressions, they play wild on snake pranks and laughs like a little child. Ooh-wee. They're predicting games, they got it all wrong. Ooh, yeah. From touchdowns to home runs, the night's so long. Jackass impressions, they played wild on snake pranks and laughs.